Okay, sweet. So we do see the picks. We got MTS-Gaming. They're picking up that lifesteal, one of the strongest heroes in the game at the moment. He has been receiving little bits of nerfs here and there over the recent patches, but he's still one of the strongest laners purely because of that rage. You pop the rage and you just can't be disabled or shut down early on. You shouldn't be dying. And once he gets to level 6, he can move into the jungle and farm both the jungles and lanes simultaneously. He just gets such a strong gold lead at the start. And through the mid game and late game, that 6 seconds rage is one of the most fantastic spells. You just can't be hurt, and it usually forces the opposing team to get a Bane, which we do get see picked up by Quach and Friends. So they'll have that Banes with that Fiend script that is superior and goes through that rage. Also has that Enfeeble, which basically shut down lifesteal, and it does show that they might want to go for this aggressive tri-lane, especially being picked up with Mirana. You throw that Nightmare down, then you have a follow-up from that arrow, and that's very strong shutdown and early game potential.
They were very fast picks as well. I know, personally, Eternal Triangle is probably the best Mirana in Australia at the moment. I know he's racked up at least, I think the last time I checked it was about 900 wins with Mirana.
Oh wow.
And about 30 losses, so definitely one of the best players I've ever seen on that Mirana, so hopefully we'll see some great plays coming out of him. And we had a Rubik pickup from MTS-Gaming. They could be looking to shut down that team fight capability if they go for some big supports like Tidehunter or even an Enigma, and they quickly ban the Alchemist as well.
Especially for Rubik, this almost says that they want to follow up with either Shrek or Alina. Usually you see Rubik's picked up with a very strong stunning hero, and if we do see Alina or Shrek being picked up, we could see either early aggression if they pick up that Lena. If there's a Shrek, you could see very fast towers fall quite quickly. It depends on how they want to run the game. Lifesteal, he'll want to take that. He'll start to pick up and ramp up in damage in that mid game. So they'll want to try and get early farm and be very defensive with him. But if they do pick up a Lena, look to see them being very aggressive to try and counter the aggression coming out from Quach and Friends.
And if Rubik plays to his strengths and really knows what he's doing, may even be able to pick up the Bane ultimate, which can prove very useful.
It'll be nice. It'll be good to see if they want to run the Mirana. Does the Mirana usually run a more semi-support or go for a carry role?
Mirana, I tend to see a lot of Miranas go mid in pub games, but in competitive, I know Mirana tends to be picked sometimes as a carry as well. And I know Eternal, he plays both mid and carry Mirana, so we could see either one today.
But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to see how they want to complement the current team lineup. I mean, you have that Mirana and Bane, they could either be your two supports or your carrying support, so that if they do pick up another support, I'd be very interested to see who they want to run as that carry, which we do see a Gyrocopter coming out. And if cooldown can be stolen by that Rubik, team fights can be turned straight back around. However, Gyrocopter, he's got very strong early game. You get a Mirana to land her arrow on someone, Rocket Barrage following it up, and whoever he's on will be dead instantly. That Rocket Barrage does insane amount of damage early on.
That's very true, and actually, even though they've picked Gyro, it's not quite confirmed yet who's going mid, because both Gyro and Mirana are great mids as well as carries. And there's a very good pick, the Dogs here. Very strong support, great offlaner, great mid as well. I'm looking to see one of these teams pick up Queen of Pain. Queen of Pain somehow made it through the banning pool. Usually you see her get picked up in the top 3 or even banned out. She's very strong mid-game presence, and the mid-lane presence, I should say. You can get to those runes. You'll usually control the runes yourself most of the time, and they can easily go roam around, have an extreme amount of burst damage, take down heroes, then go straight back to your lane without missing out on too much waves of creeps. And we do see a Visage being picked up, so this screams aggressive tri-lane coming out of Quach and Friends. Visage is the best tri-lane hero in my opinion. Yes, his Grave Chill, especially in those early levels, is great to set up kills early on, especially alongside Bane. There's a lot of disable, there's a lot of slow, and a lot of damage.
So MTS
and Lion.
Beautiful
Lion is the pickup for MTS. I have not seen a Lion in competitive for a very long time.
Yeah, I saw one last week and it was run quite well. They sent the line mid lane,
picked up an early level 6, started roaming, and that burst damage coming out from that Finger of Deaths at such an early stage just absolutely demolished teams. And you have squishy heroes such as the Bane, the Mirana. Visage, I wouldn't say too much is squishy, but with a few auto attacks a stun and then Finger of Death, you can take him down. And Gyrocopter himself isn't too tanky on his part. So I really like this pickup of one, and being able to burst heroes down before they can get off most of their spells or any of their spells could come in quite handy for MTS Gaming.
It's really going to put some pressure on Gyro especially. It's going to definitely make him want to get that BKB that little bit faster, just so he can't be smashed down so quickly by the nukes.
And if he does rush that early BKB, then Lion will be that much effective late game, because once that BKB is down to that 4 seconds on the lowest of the BKBs, he's easy to pick off later on the game if he hasn't got such items as maybe a butterfly or even getting his lifesteal up and running. So he's got to be careful. If he does go for this early BKB, he has to be careful in those charges. If he uses them too fast too early, he could be in a very long haul later on in the game.
We see actually a very smart pickup by Quach and Friends here, the Beastmaster. Very strong hero, can go mid, off lane. I've seen him played as hard support as well, but his ultimate goes through Lifestealer's Rage, which is very useful in this situation, especially considering that we have a Darkseer and a Rubik that don't actually have a lot of health, and if they get knocked in by that Rage knockback, then could really turn teamfights around for them.
And that his passive auto attack or attack aura, what's it called? Speed attack. Bonus attack speed. That's the word I was looking for. It's very strong. Once that starts being leveled up, your Mirana, your Gyrocopter will be pulling out a lot of damage quite faster in their auto attacks. And even the aura even buffs the familiars so they can get off their damage a lot faster.
I love Puck games. I really do. It's so fun to watch people play Puck.
Definitely got a very versatile toolset, and they always pull off the most impressive plays and escaping death in the most clutch ways.
And actually, we do actually have on Quach and Friends, there's actually quite less of a need to get observer boards with Beastmaster's Call of the Wild. That Scout Hawk and Visage's familiars really provide that sort of extra vision that they need.
Prepare for battle.
And would you like to introduce the teams?
Okay, I'll introduce the Darren, you can do the Radiant. So we have the captain, Minky Magic, going on to a Beastmaster, which is going mid. We have Eternal Triangle, as I said, on that Mirana. And we have actually Mirana going safe lane top as a solo. We have Shinji, if I pronounce that right, on the Visage. We have Aaron Lennon on the Bane, and on the carry, we have Hello Moto on the Gyro.
And over on MTS Gaming, we have their captain playing on that puck, Lil Andy Tron 5000. We have a part of the tri-lane, we have Lifestealer being played by Truman, followed up by his two supports of Newlander on that Rubik, and his fellow support will be Merv on that Lion, and finally, their offlaner will be on that Darkseer Sid. And I really like the lineup from Quach and Friends. They've got a very aggressive, and they're trying to compete against the tri-lane of MTS.
We have some fairly early ward placement by MTS here, just up on that cliff there. It's a good ward. I tend to prefer wards being placed around about there, because it also gives more vision of mid transferring to bottom for ganks. But Invis Rune's going to go to bottom, and it's actually on the Bane. So this could actually be quite dangerous if they decide to go for an early first blood.
And Bane's already rotating around. He's picked up a point in Nightmare. You have the Mirana sitting on that top lane. She's waiting to throw out her arrow as well. If this Nightmare goes off, which is about to happen, we see the Nightmare, it's being thrown off. The arrows come flying in. The arrow is going to land. That's a stun. We got a few auto attacks. We got the Beastmaster throws his axe and picks up the first blood in mid lane. So very nice
well
pickup.
by Quach and Friends. Granted, it was. Oh, we've actually got an initiation on the Gyro down at bottom. Gyro, one more right click, and Rubik picks up the kill. It was good initiation by Lifestealer. Seeing the engagement at middle probably gave him a little bit more motivation to go for it, but was well played by MTS to respond to the mid.
That's for sure, and I really like the fact that Troyman, he did not pick up, usually you see most lifesteals, they pick up a rage earlier on in case of any initial ganks. He didn't level anything up until he saw that gank in the middle, and we might see another initiation. We have Lion doing a few auto attacks. He was thinking about throwing out that stun, but never happened to go through. But I really like Troyman. He waited, he picked up that open wounds, and got the rest of his team to come in and followed him in. So they got that counter kill. But then again, it's no first blood, and that first blood's going to help out that Beastmaster quite a lot more than... actually, who picked up that kill? We had Rubik picking up that kill.
Rubik picked up the kill.
So Beastmaster's going to be quite happy with that first blood. He's got his early bottle at 1 minute, and he's going to be able to control the rune quite a lot more efficient than this Puck. So Puck's going to have quite a tough time. He's now getting his bottle now, so it shouldn't be too bad, but early bottle on a Beastmaster just means he can get a lot more creep kills, which is shown on the score at the moment. He's got 9 creep kills against a Puck currently on 6.
We've actually got some good ward placement here by Quach and Friends. We got one just in the tree line here, which blocks the stack for the Rubik, which he actually did just try to attempt, so he's probably going to work out that it is warded. And we got one here that also blocks the secondary lane pull, but also gives vision of the rune. So smart ward placement by Quach and Friends.
And I really love this ward placement in this bush here. Usually you see wards, when they counter wards, you see one there or one there. And you usually check the 2 main places that's just outside of them. You never check that bush. And it's just a lot more efficient for them to get in there. And MTS, they don't have any ability to cut down those trees to get in there at the moment. So if they were trying to look for it, it'd be very hard to try and get that counter rev off.
It's also very annoying to get to that ward. I know from experience that I tend to place sentries around about here, because they don't block the camp and you get vision usually around that whole area, but it's incredibly difficult to get to because you actually have to cut down the tree just to get to the ward.
So in mid, we do have a little bit of a Puck just throwing out the damage, harassing that Beastmaster out. Beastmaster's now out of consumables and thrown for that bottle crows. He did miss out on that regen rune. It's going to take him a little bit while, so if this Puck does want to initiate, she's got 3 bottle charges and a full initiation kit to jump in on that. Beastmaster has to be quite careful. He's only got 450 health, and Puck could quite easily damage that down with 1 silence, an orb, and a few auto attacks. So this Puck, so this Beastmaster's got to be a little bit defensive. The orb's gone through, so he should feel a little bit safer with his bottle back on the way.
We actually have Beastmaster doesn't actually, other than his bottle, doesn't have any more regen. Whereas Puck over on the Radiant has actually got 2 tangos, so he doesn't always have to be bottling, which gives him that little bit of an advantage, even though Beastmaster got the first blood. And we can see he's already down to 1 charge.
We have a little bit of initiation down at bottom. The Nightmare came out into that rock barrage, and we have a dead Rubik straight away. And there's the aggressive tri-lane potential coming in from that. Firstly, the Visage throwing out that Soul Assumption and Grave Chill, and then followed up by the Soul Assumption a little bit later on. And the damage from Rocket Barrage, it just does so much damage if you're not near creeps or any fellow supports. You just fall quite instantly, and Rubik is just generally not a tanky hero. And
we have Grave Shield on the mine as well, and Visage picks up the kill. And they could be getting a lifestealer as well, which won't be good for MTS, and Visage getting the double kill.
That's 3 heroes dead for MTS down in this bottom lane. That's going to hurt, especially all those kills going to Visage. Not necessarily where you want them to go, but that's 3 kills nevertheless, and that is going to really hurt this lifesteal and set him back quite far.
We see the power of Visage. The amount of damage he's able to do once he hits level 2 is just insane. We actually haven't taken a lot of interest in the top lane. It's been pretty passive so far. We have Darkseer currently leading the farm, with Beastmaster falling just short. The lane seems to be very pushed towards the Dire Tower, which favors Mirana more, in my opinion.
But then again, that's what Darkseer usually do. You throw out your Iron Shells, you push into the tower and try and get whatever damage you onto that tower. The tower's taken about 300 damage, or about 400 damage so far, and that will just slowly stack over time, and there's not much Mirana can do about it. She can throw out her Starstorm here and there, but in the end, Darkseer consistently harassing that tower will fall, and that could be... At the way this game's going, we have an initiation on mid, the Dream Coil's being popped onto Beastmaster, she phase shifts the Roar, and then gets roared now. A few more auto attacks, can Minky Magic pick it up? Minky Magic throws out these beasts, and one more auto attack.
Phase shift from Puck. Phase shift just saves him from another auto attack.
That was very nice played by that Puck. Very well played.
It was well played by the Beastmaster to counter it, but very well played by the puck to keep himself alive. He does unfortunately have to return back to Fountain. That shouldn't be too much of an issue as Beastmaster has to go back as well.
Dire's top tower
I mean, he should see that there is a bottom rune possibly down in bottom river, but it doesn't look like he wants to risk it. There's a support missing off the map, or I shouldn't say support, there's a lifestealer missing off the map, so he doesn't want to go risking picking up that invisibility rune and costing himself his life. Instead, they're going to throw Bane to pick it up, and then they're going to start searching for this lifesteal.
I think they are actually wondering where this lifestealer's gone. He's actually gone into the jungle, giving the supports some more experience, just getting them leveled up so that they can try and counter this aggressive trial lane. And the courier could actually be caught out here. Bane's got the invis rune, and the courier goes past the ward, so they have seen it.
The big problem for MTS is that their ward that they're watching did not see what the rune was, so they don't currently know Bane is invisible and currently searching, and Bane is rotating mid. She's looking for possibly a pick off. They do have ROP, so they do have enough damage to bring down that puck. Puck's back off to that tower. He should be safe for a little bit longer, but if he does overexert himself, he could possibly find himself in a death situation.
If Puck plays his cards right, he may actually have to use his ult to get away, but he does phase shifts the Nightmare and gets away, uses the ulti, but he is gonna, oh, he may drop, he does drop, but he does get the kill on the Beastmaster. The Bane nightmaring himself. Very well played by him.
Definitely. I would have liked it if Troman should have seen that Bane was going down. If he took that auto attack off and put the Nightmare on himself, that tower could have picked up that last hit and they would have got some kills and XP out of it. Instead, Bane will deny himself and get on out of there. So they did get one kill on that puck. They lost their Beastmaster in return, and a deny on Bane definitely does in favor MTS, but MTS, they could have got more out of there.
We actually see Bane going top, so could be looking for an initiation on the Darks here. He's already picked up his buckler, so, and he does have 1k gold in the bank, so looking to pick up that early mechanism, which will really help them, especially those two supports that are very squishy.
And lifesteal, he's still currently trying to work towards his Midas. I think it is coming on the courier. Yeah, it's coming on the courier. So an 8.5 minute Midas, not the fastest enough. We have initiation on top. We have a nice Bane Nightmare into an arrow, and we have the dead Darks here. So look away for a second. They turn around and pull out a gank onto that Darks. The Darks is dead, and that mechanism is now delayed just a little bit longer.
He did actually purchase the headdress before he died, so he didn't lose as much gold as he would have.
And this Bane, she's been doing very fantastic roaming so far, been very active on the map, constantly sitting off the vision on the side of MTS. They can't be sure where he's going to appear, when he's going to appear. He could be down on bottom lane, when to pull up, could be looking for that lifesteal, waiting in mid. He's just been everywhere at once, and he's just been playing a very fantastic role at the moment, comboing well with his teams, and they've just been using him to his fullest potential. And now he has that Fiend script up and running. Whoever he goes on now will just keep dying and keep giving more kills to the side of Andy Quach and Friends.
And we're actually seeing MTS fall behind a bit. I've just taken a look at the hero levels. We do have that Bane with his ultimate on level 6, and we have both the Radiant supports sitting quietly on level 4. Really need to get those levels up, especially on the Lion, for that massive nuke.
And one of the nice things they've done though is they've rotated that lifestealer out. He's now sitting in that jungle, picking up all the gold he can, and those two supports, they get a lane to themselves against a Gyrocopter and Visage. Themselves, they can do a lot of damage themselves, and we do see a pick off in mid actually. Beastmaster solo roaring and picking off that puck for very strong amount of burst damage. He's come straight out of there, which is a little bit strange seeing as puck has a lot of escape mechanisms and managed to get pick off in the end.
And does get a regen rune out of it as well, so not going so well for the puck at middle.
So that's going to set back his Blink Dagger, which I think he's going to be rushing. No, he decides... Oh, whoops, I clicked on the wrong hero. Puck's Blink Dagger is going to be set back by another 2-3 minutes at the way it's going, losing about 300-400 gold to that kill, to that Beastmaster, and a little bit of farm time. So it's going to hurt Puck quite a lot and hurt MTS in this mid-game. At the moment, all their marbles are on their lifestealer, who's sitting in that jungle. He's got his Midas, and he's just going to be waiting to that late game and farm it out.
Beastmaster knows Darkseer is there. He's actually just pinged him. possibly just notifying his supports that he's going to be playing safe until that Darkseer goes away.
Very nice ward coming out. Once again by that Bane playing a fantastic role. Putting it on that top rune, a defensive ward that is, and just making sure that your Beastmaster just can't be set back. And Beastmaster's playing a fantastic game himself. He's sitting on 53 creep kills. Marana 52 and Gyrocopter 56. So all the gold and creep kills are going in favour of Andy Quach and Friends. And MTS, they're just hurting.
Going out at middle. We've got a teleport coming in. It looks like the whole of Andy Quach and Friends are coming in. The Roar goes out onto the Darkseer, and the Bane ultimate finishes him off.
And there's that early level 6 on that Bane doing wonders. And they're going to smoke up and then they're going to rotate down below this river. And they're going past this ward. They're not going to expect it. MTS, they're going to be in a little bit of a trouble here. That smoke is going to be able to go flying through. But the birds of the familiars came flying through. So MTS, they should know something's up after seeing those birds. Courier's coming in. They might find the lifesteal. They're not going to do it. They can try and auto-attack the Courier. Can they get the final auto attacks? The familiars are after it, and they're going to pick off that Courier.
They've got the Courier.
Now there's
We
initiation.
have an initiation on the Gyrocopter. Gyro's cooldown's actually going to pick off the Lion, but Rubik does get the kill on the Gyro. and Rubik taken out by the Bane.
Just gets demolished.
Level 4 Brain Sap.
That...
No, it doesn't seem to be going towards MTS at the moment at all.
That's for sure. That brain sap is almost the same level as that Rubik, and that's saying something, especially for support standard. Poor Rubik.
But it was a great decision by Andy Quach and Friends to grab that Courier. In all honesty, grabbing a Courier is just as good as grabbing a kill, because that's 100 gold as well as a Courier for 3 minutes that MTS does not have.
But luckily for MTS though, they got the items off the Courier onto that Lifestealer. So Lifestealer did in the end pick up his boots. So it's not going to hurt him too much. But that 175 gold to all members, which are now rotating in towards this Lifestealer, because they have vision of where he is. They're looking for him. Will they be able to catch him? These familiars are coming in looking for the stuns. They're not going to do it quite yet.
Puck is actually rotating as well. He's noticed that Beastmaster's come down to bottom. So we could have a great team fight coming up. And Bane's actually top. They're going to initiate on the Darkseer with the Bane ultimate. Darkseer falls.
Down on bottom we have
And
a
now
feed.
initiation on bottom.
Yeah, we have a lot of damage coming find out. Gyrocopter's trying to man-fight his way up. He does fall straight away to that Rubik. Now they pick up a kill onto the Lion. Visage gets another kill. Rubik turns around, picks up another kill, and now Beastmaster falls to the tower and that
picks
Rubik.
up a triple kill. Steals the soul assumption from Visage and just dominates the fight.
And he picks up 2.5 levels in the meanwhile. He's going to be quite happy with that. He's back in the game. He'll have his arcane boots up and running, giving consistent mana and sustainability to this bottom lane. And now they desperately needed that. They desperately
He's actually
needed
now
that.
got more kills than the Visage just from that fight. That was quite a steal. And Radiant do lose a tier 1 out of top. But still a very good fight for MTS. Brought them back, got the Gyro, got the Beastmaster, got the Visage, and lost a Darkseer.
And not to mention, Andy Quach also lost their Gyrocopter at the start of that. And that's going to hurt. He almost had his BKB. He's set back a little bit. But still, this could be a very reasonable timing for a BKB rush. He's only got another 900 gold to go and he'll have that BKB up and running.
We're actually seeing still a fairly even game. It was going heavily in the Dyer's favor in terms of experience at 5k, but it's now sort of down back towards 2.5. And we've actually got still in the lead of the Dyer, about 5,000 gold lead.
We might see a death onto this line. Nice Familiar Stun 1, Familiar Stun 2, Solar Stun's been come flying through. Now they're trying to get the final auto attacks, and that's a dead line. It will go to that Marana. Marana's now sitting on 3 kills with 1 assist. She's having a very nice game. She got early drums and is now working on that diffusion.
Yeah, so we see Triangle, as usual, dominating that Marana. Absolutely knows how to play that character.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
So what do you feel as if MTS should do to try and get back into this game? Do you think they should try to start smoking up, try and find picks? Do you think they should just group up as 5 and start pushing these towers? How do you think MTS should continue on with this game from here?
At the moment, I'm feeling like some of the issue is coming from the warding. some of their wards, in early game, there was nothing wrong with what they had. And Rubik just dodging that spear. But their warding at the moment, they currently have no wards on the map whatsoever. Now, Quach and Friends, they don't have any wards either. However, they have more map control. They have 2 tier 1s in the bag, and they're looking to push that tier 1 at middle, which is just below half HP. But MTS really need to get those wards up. They do actually smoke, but they have no vision. They don't know where they are.
And fantastic hawk coming out from that Beastmaster. I'm not sure if he saw that smoke up, but now that smoke's been popped. They're coming in, they're looking for a fight. Orb goes flying through. Great dream call. The stun comes flying through. Dark Sieve vacuums into a wall. That's 1 dead so far. Raw comes back out into that Rubik. Rubik's taking a lot of damage, but he's not going to fall yet. Visage is just going to get out of there with his life. Marana, no he won't.
Not. Rubik stole the soul assumption again.
And now Marana will fall.
Marana. Another triple kill for Rubik. Oh my goodness, this Rubik is just dominating.
Beastmaster sitting in invis, waiting behind him. He's spotted up at least 1 charge. He's sitting there waiting. Bane gets picked up. Orb comes flying through. Nice axes coming flying through, picking off that Rubik. Bane is just going to get out of there with 2 auto attacks left. Puck's trying to phase shift. Silence is up. Now they're going to be auto attacking down. TP support coming in from that gyrocopter. Will they be able to turn this back around? Lion's taking a lot of damage. Buyback from the Rubik's TPing in. We see the cooldown being popped, but Rubik's TPing in himself. Picks him up, throws him back. Puck's ready to come in. Darks is also back in the action, throwing that iron shell off. Surges in, vacuums. Can he find that final auto attack in? He hasn't been able to get a great nightmare coming out from that Bane, and Bane's going to retreat himself. And Darks is out there. Bane's almost out of there. They're looking to turn back around with this Rubik.
Rubik could drop again.
Soul Assumption will be able to enough.
The Soul Assumption.
Not
Doesn't
enough.
quite get there. Not enough charges.
So that
What a
Bane,
great fight.
that Bane doing very nice work, keeping that gyrocopter in, and that Darkseid just couldn't get those final auto attacks off. I'm not sure if the animation cancelled. He lost vision the first time walking up the ramp. Second time it looks like he almost got it off, but gyrocopter somehow got his movement speed. And then the third time, Bane with that fantastic nightmare.
And Rubik actually did buy back into that fight and nearly died again. It was a great fight by him, stealing the Soul Assumption for the second time, getting another triple kill, but almost dies a second time.
So now we've
Marana
got
picks up the Yasha, so looking to go for a very fast Manta style.
and she's waiting on wing. She's waiting for that arrow. If someone gets nightmared, they're going to be gone. Arrow comes in, lands onto the puck. Puck's taking a lot of damage. Can they save that puck? We got Familiar's coming in. Will they be able enough? Stun's going to miss, and then Lion Stun's going to throw out his, just in case.
Marana has actually popped the ultimate, so they won't be able to see Quach and Friends. Just something to note though, in all the previous fights that Visage has been in, his familiars have died every single time. Which means that MTS have been getting free gold from Visage for no reason. So I think he needs to look to micro them just a little bit better, just to make sure that they don't die as much as they have been.
Mara's got to be a little bit careful. She almost ran headfirst into that lifesteal, and now she's on the run at the moment. And she has Visage coming down to support in that river. But now the rest of MTS, they're waiting. They're not sure if they want to go help this lifesteal continuing farm. Marana's looking at himself coming in. She's going to throw out the arrow. Arrow's just going to miss. She's going to start auto-attacking. Lifesteal's going to be in a lot of trouble. He's got no support around him against 2 heroes. The Soul Assumption, he rages and he's out of there. So, no harm done. Just a little bit of farming time down the drain.
And this is where, like I said before, this is where MTS really need to pick up their game. They have no wards, which means... And we actually have Beastmaster shouting onto the dogs here. Call down, going to hit him twice. Still stunned. We have... Oh my goodness. His ultimate's going everywhere.
So Dream Coil placed down on them. Puck's doing a lot of damage. She orbs through. She gets taken. She's still not dead. She's trying to get that final auto attack onto the Beastmaster. Doesn't get it. Misses uphill. Now the Visage is chasing down that Puck. Lifesteal's in a lot of trouble. He's trying to find that Beastmaster. Will he be able to get that final auto attack off? He doesn't find. He went the wrong way.
He's standing right next to him.
That very nice juke. And Pucks came in. She's got a little bit more health. Trying to find a kill on this Marana. This is a little bit greedy. She has to be. She's very careful. You got an entire team chasing you down. They're not going to do it. They don't want to risk it. And Puck's going to be able to get on out of themselves. But they lost 4 for 1. Very nice fight by Quach and Friends.
And actually, what I was going to say before the fight actually broke out, they actually do have a ward now, but only really gives vision of this sort of area, where they really need it to be sort of on that cliff where it gives river vision as well as those stairs. But what I was saying was that Lifestealer, when he was farming, he had no idea that Mirana and Visage were actually coming for him because they have no vision. They need to get these wards up. They need to be able to see and predict the movements of Andy, Quach and Friends, because this is what happens. Ganks become so much easier.
I definitely agree with you there. And then when you look at Andy, Quach and Friends, they got a ward in their jungle, and they watched the entire movement from that lifesteal the entire time. He saw he was separated from his entire team, and they tried to take advantage from those two heroes. Unfortunately, they couldn't capitalize on that moment. However, when it turned into a team fight, they had the potential, and they all turned around. And it was just very nice placement from all their heroes. Gyrocopter's cooldown hit on all 5 heroes. Puck, the Dream Coil hit on 4 heroes, so in turn they got a nice turnaround. But MTS, they just didn't have that damage there, and they didn't have the chain stuns to keep everyone down. I think Lion, his stun only hit on maybe 2 heroes in such a grouped team fight. And, I mean, that's fantastic and all, but when they're lacking on damage, you need to hit it on more heroes.
And I'm not sure if you noticed, but Lion actually did use his ult on the gyro. But he popped his BKB right as the ultimate went off, so it didn't actually do any damage at all. Meaning that Lion ultimate didn't do anything.
Very nice timing. Now they're looking to get in this puck. Beastmaster's invisible. He's not going to be spotted out by this ward. And they're looking for this lifesteal. Once again, lifesteal is in a lot of trouble. They're rotating around. Beastmaster's got that raw up and ready. Will he throw it out? He's still chasing him down. Look at him farm. They got Visage rotating in. They're watching him. And at the same time, in mid lane, there might be an initiation going. And lifesteal's taking a lot of damage. Stun 1 from Familiar. Stun 2. But back in mid lane, we have a nice vacuum onto 2 heroes of Andy, Quach and Friends. Cooldown's been popped. They're going to find that puck. So at least they'll get 1 hero in return. And Lifesteal, he's on his way around bottom. He's trying to run away. The Familiars are still trying to do a lot of damage, and that Beastmaster gets that final auto attack in. So losing the Lifestealer for a Bane and Mirana, that's not quite worth it. So Andy, Quach and Friends, they'll take out the favourable trade, and then now they'll push down this bottom tower. They might get a little bit of damage onto this, and with that Hawk scan out, they might even get a tower.
Very good, yeah, I agree. Very good trade for Andy, Quach and Friends. A support for a Puck and a Lifestealer. And the Mirana, only losing the Mirana, really. And this Bane playing very well. I think he's allowed to have a few deaths.
Yeah, and as you mentioned before, it came down to the wards. Because that one ward could not see that rotation in the river, they just came in, they started searching for that Lifesteal, and they found him. Lifesteal, he's playing with no vision on the map. He shouldn't be as aggressive in farming as he is. But then again, at the same time, Andy, Quach and Friends, they were doing a little bit of a strange gank attempt. They had 2 heroes coming through near the secret shop trying to find kills on themselves, and they were separated from the rest of the team. The arrow will land on the Darkseer. Mirana's jumping in, throws down the Starfall, few auto attacks. Mech is popped by the Darkseer, pops a Surge, but Gyrocopter's here ready and raiding, and they'll find that kill. Puck throws out the Silence, taking a little bit of damage, but will Orborn out of there. Mirana will throw out that
initiation down at bottom. Rubik steals the Grave Chill, but we got Beastmaster and Visage initiating on him. I'm not sure what he was actually still doing down there, because they do have this Radiant Ward right there at the stairs, so could see the Visage, but didn't do anything about it.
Now Puck's throwing through that Dream Orb. She's not going to be initiated. She's not too scared. She throws out the not the face ship, the Dream Coil on the ground, doing a lot of damage to the Bane. Nice Familiar stun into that not Fiend script. Vacuum, pulling him out of there. Bane will get the final auto attacks off. Actually, Visage will pick up a double kill for his solo assumption. They're turning back around. They're thinking about getting this Darkseer. They have more than enough health here to go into the tower.
They don't even care about this wall. They just care about killing the Darkseer.
And now this should be a dead Darkseer. He doesn't have Surge up for another 3 seconds, and there he goes. He pops and falls to the ground.
That's a 4-for-0 trade. That was actually a question. Not only it was a good wall by the Darkseer, but he'd already used his vac, but it was a questionable Dream Coil by the Puck, only getting the Bane when really there's a whole team there. And didn't really do any MTS any favors.
It's a little bit strange. I mean, Bane, she isn't a high priority here. I mean, sure, it's got that Fiend script, and if it does hit you, you're gone. But then you have a Dream Coil for the rest of the team, hold them all into place, and it does a lot of damage and stun if they come out of it, and it just forces everyone to group up in place. So as you said, that is very questionable, and I think that could be one of the reasons why they lost that fight. Once she threw down that Dream Coil, she went aggressive and then gave herself away, and basically just the rest of the team fell shortly after.
And we actually see now Beastmaster picks up an Aghanim Scepter, meaning that ultimate is just a little bit more scary. And he has a Shadow Blade, which is great for his initiation. He's going to find 3 of the supports at middle and the Lifestealer too. So possible, the whole team's actually there. They're going to look to initiate, but he's just going to play it safe and TP out.
As my voice just died on me then. Thanks, voice. But yeah, Quach and Friends, they're sitting in a very strong aggressive point at the moment. They're reducing the entire farm of MTS, and now they're struggling. They can't go anywhere on the map. They can't farm top lane. They can't farm bottom lane, because the roaming potential of Quach and Friends has just been fantastic. They've always got Visage and Bane walking around trying to find these openings. Mirana has always been there behind their supports, ready to throw that arrow and get the stun off. And it's just been very well played by Quach and Friends at the moment. And MTS, they're suffering. They can't go anywhere to pick up any golden experience.
And Mirana has the ultimate orb, so gonna have that Manta style very soon. So huge pushing potential coming for Quach and Friends. MTS are really gonna have to do something about this, just so that they can come back into this. And we actually see Beastmaster comes out of his Shadowblade to initiate onto the Lion, but he uses his roar, but Rubik steals it and counter initiates and saves the Lion.
Now they're looking at picking off this Visage, but Visage is already on his way out of there. And unfortunately for his Visage, his familiars, they had no damage. Both of them threw out an auto attack onto that line. They would have found a kill, but they'd already used most of their auto attacks, and they did probably about 3 damage to that line. So Lion will just get on out of there. Nice turnaround. Beastmaster got a little bit cocky, if I do say so, up against 4 heroes. And he will pay for it.
It was definitely a very selfish act, I think, by the Beastmaster, looking for just a free kill, which turned out not to be free. Rubik, quick on his feet, steals the ultimate and actually still has it. So, gonna have that Beastmaster ultimate for the next fight, which really is all Beastmaster's fault.
Yeah, well, it's level 3, it's got Aghanim Scepter, so it's going to be very strong. Even if they can find, even if they want to smoke up and try and find a gank, they have a roar available. And it's just one of those very, very strong team fight potential fights. Not just team fight, solo fight, or solo kill, gank, whatever you want to say. You guys know what I mean. But now they're already looking at going up top. They're trying to find a kill on this Gyrocopter, and Gyrocopter's got to be careful. His BKB won't do anything. And he's still got 9 seconds on his BKB, which is fantastic. But if they do find a kill, he could be in a lot of trouble. And now there's TP support coming in from the rest of Quach and Friends. The roll gets thrown down onto that Rubik. Rubik's in a lot of trouble. He might turn around and try and throw out a roll. He throws out a roll before he gets almost taken down. That rocket should finish him off. The rocket will not. Cooldown's being popped. Vacuum into that wall. Cooldown's doing a little bit of damage. Now the line will fall shortly after. Beastmaster will get picked off shortly after by that puck. Puck face shifts and is already on his way out of there. Mirana finds that kill onto the Darkseer. So it's a 2-for-1 trade. And now they're going to be looking to push this top tier 2 tower.
Was very sort of out of position. MTS, they didn't really have any vision at all. Creep wave wasn't quite pushed up to the tower, so they couldn't see anything. They don't have any wards in this area, so they have no vision, which means Quach and Friends just have the upper hand. And Puck actually gets hit by the spear. Great spear by Mirana, stopping him from getting that regen rune and picking up a free kill.
And now this is Quach and Friends. They're quite far ahead at the moment. If you look at the gold graph, they're 10k gold ahead, and that hurts at 30 minutes in. The XP graph is in a similar situation. MTS, they've just been shut down of all farm, and they can't go anywhere without being ganked upon. They can't feel safe anywhere on this map, and even the wards show the state of where Quach and Friends are at the moment. They have a nice ward down here on the ramp, watching any rotation out into the lane, and they got a secondary ward near that mid lane. They're watching any movement into the jungle, and then they can watch it out of the jungle. Very nice ward placement.
And actually, before that team fight occurred at top, where Mirana and the Bane actually TP'd up, this ward actually spotted out the Lifestealer in the jungle, and they were actually roaming just in this sort of area to try and look for him, but obviously great teleport up top to assist in getting.
And now
those kills.
Raw's being thrown down to the Lifesteal. Lifesteal's taking a lot of damage. Once again, he's out of his comfort. He's in an area where they've got absolutely no vision. Soul Assumption will pick off the kill for that Visage.
And even if they couldn't pick up that kill with the Visage, Bane was right there. Would have been able to get the Nightmare up, and even has his ultimate up, so no way that Lifesteal was getting out of that one.
And
they're gonna look for take the Roche now.
Yep, it's gonna be a free Roche.
It's gonna be a free Roche. There's no vision from MTS Gaming whatsoever. They have no idea that Roche is being taken.
I think they probably know this is going on, but there's absolutely nothing they can do about it. Without that lifesteal to help with that damage in these fights, they can't do too much. So it's going to be a free Roshan. It's going to go to this Gyrocopter, I would presume. There we go. And now they're going to be looking to push up and do some damage to these tier 3 towers.
So it looks like Gyro's actually looking to pick up a butterfly, which will give him massive attack speed with that flak cannon doing a hell of a lot of damage. And probably look to get something like a Manta style, or I would probably go with the Satanic after that, as he already has his Helm of the Dominator. Which, from this point on, it really becomes incredibly difficult to stop the Gyro.
Yeah, I personally would have preferred if this Gyrocopter went for possibly a BKB and pull out some more damage, because if you can get rid of these supports who are all pretty squishy on the side of MTS, you can get them out of the fight early on. They can't get anything casted off and you'll do a lot of damage. The Butterfly, I mean, sure, you can get a lot of attack speed coming out, and the early evasion, we do see an initiation coming out, the arrow onto the cooldown. Darkseid's going to take a lot of damage. Cooldown hits on 3. Darkseid will fall shortly after. Visage doesn't find that kill. It does find the kill on that puck. Then we see Lifesteal, he's trying to man up, trying to find whatever he can. He's got no team around him, and he'll fall shortly after. He does get the Aegis.
But that's a whole team. That's a whole team, and they call the GG. They call GG.
Very well played by Eddie Quach and Friends.
Gyro didn't even pop his BKB.
I forgot about the good game feature, just recently added in that new patch. If you say GG, or if most of your team say GG, it pops up, you have a 10-second countdown, and then it does call the game for you. Or did you do that yourself?
No, that actually is the new good game feature.
Ah, sweet.
Very, very good feature by Valve. It means their admins don't actually have to do anything in the competitive matches.
They do something anyway?
But yeah, could incite a lot of trolling in in-house games, but it's a good feature for competitive games.
That's for sure.
Overall, I think a lot of what happened in this game was really down to MTS just not having enough vision. Just that lifestealer, as you were saying, is just out of his comfort zone. As soon as there was no wards placed, he just had no vision, couldn't get away, and resulted in several ganks on him.
And Andy Quach and Friends, they just played fantastic. They had the Bane. He was off the map 24/7, searching for kills, setting openings up for his entire team. And they would just be able to find key heroes around the map. They found Puck 2, maybe 3 times in mid. Great setups there. They found the Darkstar on top, delayed his mechanism, which could have helped in one of their team fights. He didn't pick that up until midway through, maybe after the team fight, so they lost that team fight. But this Bane, I'm going to give the man of the match to the Bane. Bane just played fantastic for the side of Andy Quach and Friends. He was everywhere at once and just played fantastic.
I'd have to agree with you there. This Bane, right from the start, was roaming, he was getting kills, and it was just playing fantastic. Knew exactly what to do, popped his Nightmare very well, set it up for the Mirana with that first blood, and once he got his ultimate, was just getting kills everywhere pretty much. But even so, on the side of MTS, I have to say, for MTS, their man of the match, just for them, would have to be the Rubik. Even though he died a lot, he was fantastic in those team fights. 2 triple kills, and able to steal Visage's Soul Assumption twice. Actually, he stole it 3 times, just was only able to use it twice.
And he was always in the right place at the right time. He was always there. He lifts people up, he throws them back, and he gets 2-3 hero stuns from that lift himself, being able to hold the team fights there. If he wasn't there most of the time, the fights, it would have snowballed a lot earlier, and this could have been a 15-minute match. That Rubik, he was always in the right place at the right time, and he was always able to find those kills when the rest of the team couldn't pick it up. Even when the lifesteal, I mean, you would have loved if your kills did go to that lifestealer, but most of the time lifesteal wasn't there. So very well played by New
And it actually does
show
on the scoreboard. Rubik picks up, actually is on par with Visage on 10 kills. Both of them the highest scoring players in the game. But yeah, it was great to see those team fights with the Rubik and the Bane.
Carry supports, it's the way of the future.
Carry supports. Anyways, that was a very good game. 32 minutes, 10 seconds is the official time. The score was 35-15. Andy Quach and Friends taking the game against MTS-Gaming. Was a very well played game. Sadly, on this occasion, MTS took the short straw. Anyways, I am BL00DLocK, and this is Dota Yoshi. Thank you very much for joining us. I had fun, and I guess we'll see you next time. You got any shout-outs?
Shoutouts to Tom if you're watching. I love you, man.
I don't really have any shout-outs. Thanks for everyone for watching, and we'll see you next time.